Hey guys, it's me. I just wanted to say hello. If I'm honest, I feel like I've been absent for a long time. That was on purpose, yes. But either way, I just feel like I just haven't seen anybody in a long time, and I haven't posted a video or anything in a while. Yes, I'm still here. If you care, if you don't, that's fine. You probably aren't following me anyway. But I just wanted to say hello and let you know that I'm still here. I'm still styling. I'm still writing. I'm still co-hosting. We're still on YouTube. I'm still mommying. Actually, that's primarily what I've been doing, is mommying and just kind of restructuring, reorganizing, and planning and prepping and launching and doing all sorts of things. Maintaining my spiritual and mental and physical health, you know, making sure things are on track for myself, for my husband, for my kids, and for my loved ones around me. So if you were wondering, that's where I've been. But honestly, like, I just wanted to say hello. I know social media has not been a priority of mine lately, but that does not mean that I just fell off the grid completely. Sometimes that's okay, and that works for a lot of people. I'm sure at some point that may be where I find myself. I do find that I am a lot more at peace when I'm away from social media. It can be a distraction. But with that said, it can also be a tool to help in many ways, in business, right, and networking, but also in spreading news, real news, not fake news. All that said, this is probably going to be the most that you will hear from me for a while. I shouldn't say that, but I kind of feel like it's true. I do, because there's just so much going on. Like, I will continue to post, yes, you know, on occasion and everything, but it's just a lot, you know. Sometimes it is a lot, and like I said, maintaining my own mental and emotional health and guarding that space and making sure that I am being productive in those ways requires me to step away sometimes. A lot of people will see that as inconsistent, which is fine. Guess I'm just not for you and you're just not for me. But if you are for me, then you'll understand. And I will make sure I keep you guys up to date on important things. Like I said, we're working on a lot of things, my husband and I, so launches and new products and services, etc., etc. We will definitely keep you updated. But in the meantime, like, I just love y'all. When the time is right, I'll post all the time. In the meantime, like, it's what you got. And I love you. And I hope you love me too. Just know that it's real. Like, you know, if I post or if I make a video or whatever comes along with interacting on social media, just know that it's authentic. I'm not doing it just for likes and views. I'm doing it because I actually have something that I want to share. And so I'm not gonna just mindlessly post and just throw stuff on random social media pages or YouTube or whatever just because. Like, it's gonna be because I actually want to share it, or I'm passionate about it, or it makes me feel good, so I want to share it with you, or whatever the case. It's not just for the likes or just for the views or just to be doing something, because I don't have time for that. If I want to just be doing something, I have plenty to do right here in this house. Like, I can go downstairs right now and, like, wash some dishes, you know what I'm saying, sweep the stairs, vacuum the floors, you know. I mean, if I just want to do something, I can go ahead and do the baseboards. If I just want to do something, I mean, I can just go play with my kids, which I do, but that's not my point. I'm not just gonna be doing stuff just to do it. There's plenty to do here at home. There's lesson plans, there's doctor's appointments to be made, there's books to write, there's things to plan and launch and people to call and all that. So I think you get the point. Does it feel a little aggressive and abrasive? I don't know. I'm just talking. Sometimes it just comes out that way, but it's all love. I do enjoy being transparent, and I do enjoy just not having to hold back and not having to walk on eggshells around people and tiptoe. I enjoy just being who I am. And if I'm ever in a space where I can't just be open and honest and me, if I'm ever in that space, it's not a good thing. If I'm ever in that space, I know it's time for me to remove myself and to shift. Whether it's a relationship, like a friendship. Obviously, I'm not talking about my marriage. If I feel like I'm in that space in my marriage, we gonna have a sit down and come to Jesus meeting, and we're not playing that. And he wouldn't be either. Like, he was to do the same thing for me. So that's just what that is. But if I did feel like I was in that space, then, you know, conversations can be had, but I would just go ahead and shift gears, you know. So I've had to do that lately, actually. Moving on to the next point. I have found myself in a place where I don't want to say I'm alone, or maybe alone, but not completely. But I've transitioned out of several different relationships. As far as friendships go, and you know, sometimes navigating through something like that can be very messy. It can be very emotional and heavy, and just, it can have you all over the place. It can even be confusing. It can feel damaging. But I want to share with you all, and just to let you all know that it is okay to transition when it comes to relationships, even if it's relationships that, or friendships that you've been in for 10 plus years or more, you know, elementary school friends, middle, high school, college friends, whatever. It's okay. And it can be very freeing, and it promotes growth in a lot of ways, because you're challenged to see yourself and grow in areas where you need to grow, but you're also challenged to figure out what it is that you like. I don't want to say like, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. What it is that you need in a relationship, and what it is that you're going to tolerate, that you will tolerate. You know, I found that in some of the relationships that have ended, two of my closest friends, actually, no, my two closest friends outside of my sisters, I'll say that, I've lost, I wouldn't say I've lost them, but I've transitioned out of those relationships for various reasons. But I know what I have found is I was allowing myself to experience things in the relationships that were making me very uncomfortable, and I was making excuses for those things. Not to say that I was the perfect friend, so let's just put that out there. Disclaimer, I was not the perfect friend, and I actually even realized that through some of the conversations that I had with these friends before transitioning. But I was allowing myself to just put up with certain things, whether it was snarky comments, or, you know, the friends being judgmental, or friends not protecting privacy in certain situations and using reasons, excuses, or scripture to justify not being a friend, like twisting things around to justify not being a true friend to me. And I noticed that I was just allowing it to happen because I knew that I had flaws as a friend as well. So just to be honest, like, one of the reasons why I think I did allow some of that to happen was because I was like, well, I'm not the best friend all the time either. Like, I mess up too, and all that, which is true. However, that does not give people the right to walk all over you, or to take advantage of you, or to choose to misunderstand you. And I think that's a big thing. I do think it's possible to make the choice to misunderstand someone. What do I mean by that? I mean, just the same way you can sit down and have a conversation with the person and say, hey, you know, when this happened, this is how this made me feel. Or, you know, you just notice something about them and you just kind of make your assumption and keep it moving, or react off of your assumption. That's a choice to misunderstand, instead of talking it through, approaching them, digging deeper into the relationship to understand that person, to understand their motives, to understand their thought process and everything like that. And I feel like in some ways I'm partly responsible for that, because I could have been more open in these relationships in the beginning, and I could have set clear boundaries, and I could have been more vocal about the things that hurt me, and expectations, just like in any relationship. So I am partly responsible. I will say this though, when the time came to communicate those things, I still expect to be received if I call you best friend, you know? So when I see that you're really not receiving what I'm saying, then you are then choosing to misunderstand me when I'm trying to give you an understanding. And, you know, with this, I also had to grow as a friend. I had to grow when it came to my communication. Like I said, I could have communicated things earlier on in the relationships. Even with just keeping in touch and reaching out, you know, that's something that, look how, you know, you probably haven't heard from me online in like a year and a half, right? But honestly, like, you know, that is an area where I'm okay and I'm comfortable admitting that I can grow in. But I want to say this, even when we are flawed, we can still have standards. You know, having flaws doesn't necessarily mean that you're not allowed to have standards, because if that's the case, then there would be no standard sets in relationships, period, because we are all flawed. Correct? Correct. You don't have to answer me. I already know that was correct. We are all flawed. And so I think it's amazing when you're in relationships with people and there's grace extended on both ends, there's understanding given on both ends, and there's an opportunity to just have amazing communication and dialogue, even if, you know, it's uncomfortable. And long story short, I got tired. I did. I got tired, and I had to transition. And, you know, a lot of people would say, like, no love lost. You know, no, like, I care about their well-being. I want them to succeed. I want them to be happy. I want their families to be happy. I want their businesses to flourish, and, you know, all of that. But the connection is not there, and, you know, maybe a little bit of love lost, or maybe a little bit of like lost. I don't know. Like, I don't want to be fake about it so that it just sounds good to say no love lost. Like, no, like it hurt, and I'm healing, but I don't see them the same, and I'm sure they don't see me the same. Like I said, I wouldn't judge them and say that they're bad people. No, like, we're all flawed, and the connection is not the same. It was time to transition out so we could all grow and kind of just evolve into the women that we need to be outside of each other. So I guess that's the best way to explain it. That's kind of where I am. Like I said, I don't want to be fake about it at all. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. But I want to be honest, and that's just my truth, and that's it. Don't be flaky and petty. That's not what I'm saying. People will disappoint you. That doesn't mean that you cut them off. That is not my point. Like I said, there's still communication and conversation and understanding. Just the same way you need to be understood, your friends need to be understood as well. So sometimes you have to check yourself and say, okay, what can I do better as a friend? And if they choose to transition, let it happen. Talk about it if you can. Let it happen. Don't come down on them, make them feel bad because they're in a different place in their life. But yeah, just take some time to just be okay with change in friendships and relationships, because sometimes there's a lot of growth outside of that relationship that you're holding on to, and you need to experience that in order to move on to the next level that God has for you. So that's it. Just a little rant about transitioning. I know it's been a long time since I've been online and I've posted anything, but I'm here. I'm just living life, and I'm being present, and I'm handling my business, and I'm not just talking about like money and stuff. I'm talking about like even emotionally and mentally, and in these spaces like with friendships and all of that. I'm just trying to handle my business, and sometimes it's just best to step away and do that. For the few followers that I have, now you see where I've been. So stay tuned. Though I said that I wouldn't post probably anytime soon, but now I feel like taking that back, because I do have some news coming that I want to share eventually, and I think I may want to post about that. Couple things. So stay tuned. I love you all. Stay beautiful. Stay sweet. Try to stay calm. Stay healthy. Stay hydrated. And stay in your lane. You do have to switch lanes, but as long as you use your signal like you straight though, but stay in your lane. When you get in it, stay in it until it's time for you to switch to the next lane. Don't be swerving. We're not called to swerve. Straight is the way, okay? Stay in your lane. I love y'all so much. And that's it. Bye, 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 bye.